We're going to go ahead and work on parking maneuvers. Here's a great situation. You can't go across on red. Red means stop. But now that it's green, we can look left and right and we proceed. We're going to do some parking maneuvers. So we're going to get into a parking lot and we're going to work on some low-speed parking maneuvers. So I'm going to drive into the parking lot. I have to signal my intention off of this road. So I'm going to signal my intention. My blinker's up. So I'm for almost 3 blinks. I go slow into the turn and I'm turning. It's like a half turn. And then I turn. So now I'm going to get into the parking lot. Again, you have to signal. You need to let people know what you're doing. And my blinker's on. They have a stop sign, but they didn't stop. So you want to be a better role model than them. And then I turn in, hand over hand, and I turn on my blinker again. I'm going to make a turn to the right. So now I'm going to look for my stall parking spot. I found it. I cover the brake. My blinker's on, and I turn hand over hand into the turn. And then I turn hand over hand out. I'm looking out to the curb to get close as I can. So now I'm in my stall spot. I put it in park. I'm just opening the door to check. I'm in. But now I have to look around. There are a lot of cars here, a lot of people. So if I don't look out of my back window, then I'm going to back into someone. So I'm looking and I'm going to turn to the right. If I turn to the right, the rear will go to the right, the front will go to the left. A lot of beginning drivers do not know this. And then now my car's straight. I turn out hand over hand. And now I'm going to do another stall parking spot. I turn on my blinker. I'm covering my brake. I turn hand over hand into the turn. My foot is on the brake. And I go up slowly. I straighten up my wheels. And then I look at the curb to my left to find out how close I can get. And then I put it in park. That's another good maneuver. So I'm looking around, watching for baskets, watching for people. So now I'm going to reverse out. I'm going to look and I'm going to turn the wheel to the left, but I see a car coming. So I stop because I'm looking and I look out. I'm turning, rotating my head. I turn the front wheels to the left, the rear goes to the left, the front swings out to the right. Then I turn back, hand over hand. Now I'm gonna have on my left blinker, I'm gonna get one of these parking spots. I split the spot right in the middle. My foot's on the brake. I'm going up slow. I turn out hand over hand. I look out my driver's side window to look where the curb is. I'm putting it in park. Now what I'm going to do is look behind me. I see cars coming in. So I'm just kind of scanning. I see people using blinkers. I see a blue minivan behind me. So I'm looking. A lot of beginning drivers don't look out of their back window. You have to look. So I'm going to look. I'm looking. I'm going to reverse out, turning my front wheels to the left. The rear goes to the left. The front swings out to the right. Now I put it in drive. In North America, we drive on the right. So now I'm going to turn on my left turn signal. And they should have had on the blinker, so I'm confused. And then I'm going to turn into the parking spot. Foot's on the brake. I turn out hand over hand. I look out to the curb. I see the curb. I'm trying to line up my front end with the curb. I put it in park. I'm looking out of my back window. A lot of you can't see this. I see cars coming out from the parking lot, cars coming into the parking lot. It's a really busy place. You might have a little bit of anxiety because you don't want to back into anyone, but I'm looking and I'm checking. So I'm in reverse again. I'm looking, I'm checking. I saw a black vehicle popping out. I'm always looking around, covering my brake, backing out slowly. Now my wheels are straight. I turn back hand over hand. Now I'm going to do a park. I see this lady coming out. She just rolled out. So you kind of understand what happens. And I clearly have my blinker on, so I'm just going to wait because I'm confused and people are confused and it could be a hot mess. So I'm just going to sit here and just wait and wait and wait some more. So you're learning. Now I'm going to go ahead and park in this parking spot and I'm covering my brake, going up slow, and I turn back hand over hand, covering the brake, and I'm in the spot. I put it in park. So now you see a lot of things going on. We're by a stop sign. So let's see if people actually stop. Okay, just for a moment. This car did stop because cars were there. I'm looking around. I see a lot of things going on. I'm in reverse. I'm looking. Okay, I see a car coming out. They don't have their blinker, but they're turning right. I'm going to turn hand over hand to the right. The rear goes to the right. The front goes to the left. I'm looking around as I back up. I turn out hand over hand. Now I'm going to make a right turn into a parking spot. My blinker's on. I'm looking, I'm checking. I turn hand over hand, splitting the parking spot in half. My foot's on the brake. I turn out hand over hand when the car is out of the turn. I'm looking out to the curb. I'm in park. It's a good feeling when you are starting to understand slow speed maneuvers. And I'm just taking my time really looking. The backup camera will give you a false sense of confidence. So you always have to look out when you back up. So I'm in reverse. I see cars flying in the parking lot. I'm looking over my shoulder. You really have to do that. Again, backup camera, no. Looking over your shoulder, yes. Now I turn out hand over hand. I'm gonna make a right turn in this parking lot. My blinker's on. I'm following the down arrows, and I'm on the right side of the road. Now I'm gonna turn on my left turn signal. My foot's on the brake. I'm gonna go in slow and turn gently. I turn out hand over hand. I'm looking to the parking line, and I'm in park. So now I'm kind of scanning around. I'm looking to my right, I'm looking to my left, I'm checking mirrors. You really have to be aware, and I can understand where this can cause a lot of anxiety, because if you have a momentary lapse in concentration, like that car just flying through, you will get hit or you will back into a car. So you really have to have your head on a rotation and look around, because cars will come in hot off the main road. So I'm gonna reverse. I'm looking out of my back window. I'm gonna turn my wheels to the right. I'm backing up to the right. I turn my wheels to the right. The rear goes to the right. The front goes to the left. And then I turn out hand over hand. Now I'm scanning. I'm gonna turn on my left turn signal, and I'm gonna pull out. Remember, in North America, we drive on the right. So I'm on the right side of the parking spot, and literally, this is the left side. This is the wrong side. So if you drive on the wrong side in the parking lot, you will confuse cars. But now I'm gonna get back to the correct side. Okay, I'm gonna make a left-hand turn up in this next part of the parking lot. My blinker's on. I'm turning hand over hand, staying on the correct side, and I turn out hand over hand. I'm gonna make a left turn into the parking spot. My blinker's on. I'm covering my brake. I turn hand over hand. Now I turn out. If you find this of value, and I hope you do, I need you to subscribe to my channel, Driving with Myles, and it's completely subscriber driven. You tell me what you want to see. So now I'm going to reverse out. I'm looking around. I'm going to turn the wheels to the right. The rear goes to the right. The front swings out to the left. I have my head on a rotation, and I turn out hand over hand. Now I'm gonna make a left turn into this parking spot. I turn hand over hand, foot's on the brake. The curved parking spots in the end are really good for parking, because it really teaches you to have balance. So now my car's in the parking spot. I'm looking around, I'm scanning. If I haven't told you, I'm known as the funny _ guy2 on TikTok. I have 160,000 followers and 3 million likes. I want to provide you with educational content about all things driving, road test prep, segment 1, segment 2. You tell me what you want to see. You subscribe to my channel. I will definitely do that. So now I'm going to reverse out. I'm going to back straight back. I'm looking over my shoulder, checking, and I turn hand over hand to the left. The rear goes to the left. The front swings out to the right, and then I turn back. So now I'm going to go up to the edge. I'm looking left, right, and left. My right blinker is on, and I'm just scanning. And I'm turning hand over hand into the turn, and then hand over hand out. So I'm just maintaining nice speed control. I'm scanning, and then I'm gonna make a left turn into the parking spot. I'm covering the brake. I turn hand over hand. I take my time. I turn out hand over hand. Thank you for the love and support. I appreciate all of you.